Good morning, students of class 12. This is the video for the students of class 12 who study in CBSE curriculum. It is a lesson from Flamingo book, that is the second chapter. It is about lost spring. This lost spring is written by Ernest Young, who is an Indian writer who studied in India and in America also. She began her career as a writer in India. She has been an editor and columnist for major newspapers in India and abroad. She has authored several books. Her most noted work is Unveiling India, which has detailed about the chronicle of lives of women in India. Her next book, Lost Spring, in which the stories of stolen childhood, that was published in 2005, it focuses on children who really deprived from the general life that children live. Here she wants to mention the life of the slum region that are deprived from the basic requirements of life to be lived and survived. Here she has mentioned all the aspects of the protagonist By-Amiya, whom you will know about in a very fantastic manner. She has authored with such precision and poignancy that we can know all about the condition of the slum region. She was born in Rourkela, spent her childhood and adolescence in Hyderabad. She received education not only in Hyderabad, but she also went to America, USA. Her parents were writers. It was her fortune that she could know all about writing, and she began her career as a writer in India. The books she authored are Unveiling India, Night of the New Moon, Seven Sisters, Breaking the Silence, and Lost Spring, that are her very good creations that just made her famous in the field of writing. This lesson is an excerpt from her book titled Lost Spring, Stories of Stolen Childhood, and here she analyzes grinding poverty and traditions which condemn the poor children to a life of exploitation. She is one of the characters in this very story, and Sahabi Alam, who is a garbage picker, a rag picker, who also has some problems in life, who lived in Dhaka. Here, every morning, the author meets Sahib and his friends scrounging for gold in the garbage dumps of a neighborhood. Sahib and his family hail from Bangladesh, but they have left their home long ago. And here, why did they leave? It is to be known. They left their own country as the storms that blew and the flood that came really swept away their houses. It was such perpetual condition in their life that made them feel that only identity for someone is not so essential as to keep themselves survive in this very world, and for that reason they had to leave their native land Bangladesh, that is here the capital Dhaka. They lived in that very surrounding and they came to India and settled. Not you can say settled totally, but they have to take shelter in the Simapuri, which is the shelter of the rag pickers, slum children, and so many families who became squatters, who came here and lived in number 10,000. There are 10,000 houses in this very locality. What is the condition existing at Simapuri in Delhi? You can understand that there are huts, there are mud houses covered with tarpaulin and tin roofed. There is poor sanitation. They have no canals, no drainage system. There is no safe drinking water and sewage. They are compelled to live substandard life in slum. Though they are on the outskirts of Delhi, they are living in such miserable life that is no way that can match with the life of the city dwellers who live in Delhi. They have ration cards that can only enable them to buy grains and are vote banks for the politicians, and they are compelled to lead a poor life. Means politicians also play a big role in just getting themselves to put into the voter list so that they can feel organized and vote for these parties who really provide them the voter ID. So here it is a very physical condition. Both children and elders have to pick up rags. They get up in the morning, they just carry a bag on their shoulders and continue walking from one end to another end of the city. Means they have to pick up these rags in their bags so that they can even find some money, they can earn some money. For elders, it is a means of livelihood, but for children, it is gold mine. Why? Because they find some coins and currency notes, and they also like to move from one place to another, filling the bags and selling it. Children feel themselves that they are deprived of going to school. It is also said that these children are so willing to go to school, but their financial condition, their social condition is not allowing them to get admitted to schools where they can go like normal children who go to school. Here they have no shoes. Wearing shoes is a dream for them. Going to school is a dream for them, and this vision is not fulfilled. So here they are the gang of rag pickers who move in local areas. How? Barefooted. They have no shoes, and if they get shoes sewn by some rich man, they feel themselves very fortunate. There are two conditions of having books, not but shoes and some money for themselves to live. even to survive for them. Once Anis Jim asked Sahib Alam whether he is willing to go to school. He says, yes, he is willing to school, but where? She says that she will open a school. But after few days or months when she meets Sahib Alam, she is asked whether she has completed the school. She feels embarrassed and pained to just make false promise to this very young child. Actually, the meaning of Sahib Alam is the Lord of the universe. But how ironical is this name? This very boy has to just move from one place to another. He was quite unaware of his names. Once he finds that there is a tennis club where he stands at the gate. The guard who lives there, he allows him because he stands there and there is affinity for this very child, and he also joins that very club knot. Why? Because he has to just swing on a swing and he loves it. So the guard allows him to just swing on a swing. There is another story. What is it about? This is the story about the man from Udupi. The narrator remembers there was a young boy who wanted to go to school, and he every day comes to the temple and prays for having shoes. But after 30 years, when the narrator visited that very temple, she finds there was a young boy who was dressed in a grey uniform, wearing socks and shoes, arrived panting and threw his school bag on a folding bed. Looking at the boy, he remembered, means the narrator remembers the prayer offered to God by offered to goddess for having pair of shoes. But here the condition had changed in past 30 years, and now the same boy, the priest's son, has got his school bag, shoes and uniform to go to school. Here this says that when did it happen? When did Sahib Alam come to India? That happened in 1971. Means at that time there was a war between India and Pakistan, and the economical condition, the joblessness and the starvation of the Bangladeshis who were living in Pakistan, which was called East Pakistan at the time, they came to India because they had nothing to eat, they had no food grains to consume. So here you can know all about it, and here garbage to them is food. So here you have understood that when a person suffers from starvation, certainly he wants nothing but something more. What has happened to Sahib? Sahib is wearing tennis shoes that looks strange over his discolored shirt and shorts, and here he has bought such a pair of shoes. In one of them there is a hole in it, but he finds that his dream has come true. But there is another theory of walking barefoot. What is that? This is that some people like to walk barefoot as it is their tradition or custom followed, and they do not bother themselves for having walking barefoot. So it is also one of the conditions. But now, what does happen to Sahib Alam? He has lost his freedom. Why he has lost his freedom? He now works in a tea stall. He works in a tea stall and he is not the master of his home. Why? Because he has a tin canister. That canister is for carrying milk where he works. He is paid 800 rupees a month, but he fills this very steel canister very heavy because he has to obey the command of his master. He has to join the tea stall every morning. He is given the food as well as he has this very plastic bag. He lost it. When he had this very plastic bag, he was free to move in the city from one place to another. But now he is confined to work at certain place which does not allow him to work anywhere else. It is the grinding poverty that really deprives him from wearing shoes and the dream that he wants to go to school carrying a bag on his shoulder at his back is a mirage. And moreover, there you can also understand that his dream that he had seen for wearing shoes that was fulfilled, but he could never wear a new pair of shoes. He could never go to school. He could never live in such a beautiful house where the people who work, they live. So it is the depravity of this very child, and I think that you must understand the conditions of such children who are living in slum region of Simapuri. It is the condition that they make them work in some workplaces, working places, workhouses, and they have to work in a mechanic shop or dhabas where they are compelled to work. I feel that you must have understood all these points that are narrated to you in this very lesson, and I hope if you like, you will just, it is a good thing to appreciate. Thank you, children. Thank you. Thank you.